Because as it is right now, many Nigerians feel deeply cheated by INEC, deeply disenfranchised by INEC. And there's an authoritarianism, which obviously is the basis of fascism, at the center of manipulating an election. Because what you're doing is you're gagging people, you're forcibly taking away their voice. That is fascist. Fascist is all of the violence that happened during the elections.
Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this YouTube channel. If today is your first time you see this channel, make it not free to hit on the red subscribe button. If you don't subscribe before, thank you and God bless you. And if today is your first time you see this Facebook page, pick in this blog, make it not free to like and follow this page for more videos update to come away. My people, wonder shall never end. Guys, I'm not going to waste no time. I won't drop video for them. Make una hear from Chimamanda. Chimamanda don't give out to Wole Soyinka. Yes, this kind of people, Wole Soyinka, you know that name they call Professor Wole Soyinka need to be taken away from his name, because that man don't deserve that name, Professor. Upon everything when he happen, guys, make I give that time and listen to this lady Chimamanda. She talk out to the extent say that word where Wole Soyinka use, fascist, he not supposed to use that word for LP or Peter Obi or Yusuf Dati. Person we're supposed to use this fascist for is supposed to be INEC, Tinubu, and the rest of way create chaos on that election day, because the meaning of that fascist a political word create violence, create a lot of things on election day, and which is Labour Party obedient not create any of these things where we say Wole Soyinka accuse the Labour Party for. People will create this thing where Wole Soyinka talk about are the APC. Wole Soyinka won't do now. He leave everything where we say yes, it happened on election day. He come waka comot for APC. He calls in a Peter Obi. He won't call that name. He calls in a Peter Obi. He won't attack. He calls in a Peter Obi. Now he cause the problem when it happen on election day. You see how biased this man can be. When he know say Peter Obi even till now wait till they go on where our matter see they court, Peter Obi see the tell people say calm down. APC when they claim to say now they still win, no, they still come outside with protests, come outside with riots, come outside with different things. When I see Peter Obi tell us we will do anything, no, he told us to calm down. We should not go out there and react. Guys, make I drop this video for now. Make una hear from Chimamanda. Please share this video. Now, no Chimamanda, now this our sister will be say yes. A right letter will give Joe Biden with the letter now. Over 10 billion people don't read this letter. Yeah, don't give her to. She is disappointed. She don't expect this kind of word from Wole Soyinka. She can't use this kind of word on the obedient or Peter Obi. Peter Obi is the least person where in supposed use this word for. The person where supposed use this word for was INEC chairman, but he failed to use this word on INEC chairman. I can't go use that for Peter Obi. Guys, watch this video. Please share the video. As you do, God bless you. See you guys in my next video. Stay safe, guys, and bye-bye.
I have a lot of love for Professor Soyinka. I admire him, I respect him as a thinker, as a writer. I think everyone should read The Man Died, and Ake, his memoir, is beautiful, right? But at the same time, I disagree very strongly with him about this particular issue. And actually, because I respect Professor Soyinka so much, I went back and watched the interview. I had watched it when it aired initially, but I went back and watched it because I thought, am I missing something? And I think fascist is a really strong word. You know, fascist actually often makes me think of Mussolini's Italy. But I think we use it now, you know, sort of to address this kind of authoritarianism that's often populist and right-wing, you know, like in Hungary and even the former American president. And when you look at those situations, you can see why they have been termed fascist. And I did not see any reason that Mr. Dati Baba Ahmed's interview would have been termed fascist. You know, I think he was making a very strongly felt point about the elections. What he was saying, which again I thought seemed fairly reasonable, is that if our democracy is rooted in our constitution, and you then swear in a person who's been elected unconstitutionally, then you are in fact ending democracy. I think it's quite a reasonable position. Of course, we can argue about what that bit in the Constitution means, right? And I'm actually grateful for this whole election period because it's made me read things I probably never would have, such as the Nigerian Constitution, and also made me have quite a few suggestions for editing. But anyway, I think now we're talking about what does "and" mean, right? So Mr. Dati Baba Ahmed is saying that it's 2/3 and the FCT, and that's separate, and it's a reasonable argument. And is a conjunction. We use it in that context often to mean plural, right? So we say Aisha and Yemi are coming. And we don't say Aisha and Yemi is coming. That's because they're two separate things, two separate entities. And of course the court will interpret, but I don't think it's unreasonable for educated Nigerians who can read and who know what the word "and" means to make their own interpretations and to argue it. And of course, the fact that the Labour Party is in court means that they do not believe that this election is constitutional. And so I just didn't, I didn't quite see why it would be termed fascist. I mean, I think a charitable way of reading Professor Soyinka's comment is that Professor Soyinka himself, I think it's fair to say that he is not given to restraint in language in general. And so maybe that's where that word fascist came from. However, I have suggestions for what we could use fascist for. We could use fascist for INEC, because as it is right now, many Nigerians feel deeply cheated by INEC, deeply disenfranchised by INEC. And there's an authoritarianism, which obviously is the basis of fascism, at the center of manipulating an election, because what you're doing is you're gagging people, you're forcibly taking away their voice. That is fascist. Fascist is all of the violence that happened during the elections. Fascist is the way that some people remain silent about that violence. Fascist is a government that hasn't come out to address the very tangible and palpable discontent in this country. I think that, and when I say that we can use fascist for INEC, what I mean is the fact that, so many of us, including myself, are convinced that this was not in any way technological glitch. I think that Professor Yakubu had an opportunity for heroism, and I think he wasted it spectacularly. Because he could very easily have become the hero of not just Nigerians, but Africa, because so many Africans are watching. They were so inspired by what happened before this election and the obedient movement. And so, I also think that the President Buhari, missed an opportunity for heroism, maybe his last chance at heroism, because Nigerians do not feel that I think Nigerians felt before the elections that he meant well and meant to support credible elections. I don't think many Nigerians think that now.